more kind and exciting and creative than that might lie. So, you know, this is our follow-up for our side of it from, and we're all here together because we're nearly all permaculturalists, aren't we, team? And we are. And in fact, Brian, of course, is a Living Economies Trust member and is constantly working on the integration of the whole, the permaculture, the money, it's all one and the same, isn't it, Brian? Yeah. And we had a guy called Thomas Greco come in 2009 for our Community Currencies Conference just up the road in Whanganui, and he just put out the book, The End of Money and the Future of Civilization. So it's ending what we've known, so what are we going to do with it? And he said this statement, you know, some people might think by what we're saying that, you know, that we're trying to bring down the banking system. And he said that is correct. So we know all this stuff. Yeah. Or help orientate into a new reality. So we know this stuff. It's not, and we know it's not resilient, and we've had enough of it, and it's not working. So we're moving on. We've been using very old technology, worn in the tooth technology. It's archaic. It's like watching, you know, the Avatar movie with black and white silent film reel or something, you know. So that's basically the text of it, which is, you know, whatever we can imagine and creatively get our heads into and apply ourselves to and build a platform for and get the people in behind, we can create the currencies we want that are going to work for us, our communities, our needs, our values. I took it on. And so, you know, the future of money is multiple currencies as one aspect of it. And, you know, there's plenty to choose from. And the ones you're going to create are going to add to the list. You know, some of them are real techie, you know. It's all those currencies of all our human values and endeavour and how we apply ourselves. That's all our currency. That's all our money. It's our money, not their money. And so we covered things like local exchanges and currencies and how that all goes round. And we looked at things like in Hands and Golden Bay, home. And how creatively we've applied ourselves to our currency that works for us. How, like in Littleton with the time bank, that's now supporting time banks all across the nation as people pick it up. It became a total focus of community creation and building. And, you know, we've had things now, it's expanding out. Like people with St. John's Ambulance, we had a proposal come by that someone working on how do we fund this volunteer organisation, and someone within it says, well, why don't we bring St. John Ambulance and make that the local hub for time banks, you know, or an integral part of local time banks. And it's a fun thing, time banks, because you get, if you want to volunteer, you get paid twice. You do the work, and if you don't want to receive the credit for it, you can give that time credit back into the community chest, which then gets used again. You know, this is about abundance, people. This is about beautiful abundance. It's about our baskets overflowing with goodness. That was the miracle of the loaves and fishes, I think, you know, that Jesus brought together in the story, was that when people come together in goodwill and good faith, put it all into the keti, it overflows. It always overflows. You're always nourished by that. Even when the times are hard and the times are tough, and they're going to be. They're going to be. And you know, like in Golden Bay, our
I'm going to pass them around. This is our local currency.
Another Golden Bay treasure. We've got plenty more where that came from. We got the printing press. Carefully managed, a very carefully managed economy. And, you know, all across the country, our kind and gracious investment banking government took out the funding for adult education. So what we do, we had a good structure with our local currency, whose values are community development and employment and nurturing. And we used our currency to just take over our adult education. Instead of being disempowered, oh, we've lost the funding. You know, no, we already got the funding because we are the currency. We are the value. And so we carry on running. You know, people take it 50-50 Kiwi or totally hands, or maybe, you know, or all hands. You know, both ways for paying the lecturers and paying for the fees. We've got our youth involved. We just launched Young Hands, our beautiful children. Oh, I miss. They're in there too. They're learning enterprise and, you know, the young entrepreneurs and the community connections that represents, because our values are always there in our currency. And we have a beautiful currency. And it can be. So then we looked at all the techie stuff, you know, we've covered that. We've got some really cool techie people, and it's so exciting, the whole tech reconfiguring, because, you know, the technology is pretty handy for a lot of it. And so we tune on into that, and it just goes in all directions. As how we're playing with it and making it easier. You know, people like, if you watch the PayPal advertisement about how you can just scan phones and all the rest of it, and you know, they think they're actually an integral part of it, but they're not. We looked at that. That was humorous. We all have the technology, and it's, you know, increasingly open source and very fast and quick, and we look at complicated systems. You know, that's the thing. There was a design course in America that looked at what would a future money system look like. I just picked that one off because it's about as far out from what you might think. You know, it's an open canvas, and it's moving fast. Excuse me, just flicking through. This is an important thing. There's a book we've stocked called that Helen do with all the fabulous books that she brings forward to educate and help us really understand and get our heads in it. And Helen, you are the best for all the effort you put in endlessly. 12:30 at night when I say, go to bed, Helen, and I see your computer still on, and you're still doing it, and the bookkeeping and the taking, and so that we can all get educated. Helen. And you know, so there's a whole new way. We're moving beyond money. We already have, you know, carpooling. That's cutting out it's peer-to-peer. There's, you know, what do I need? You know, what have I got? You know, free cycle, couch surfing. Millions of people across the world willing to share their couch with total strangers, you know, because we actually do trust each other willingly. And that's despite all the bullshit we got told we had to put the big fence up between each other. And we're refining it after losing so badly what was just at our basic instincts. And you can get into the technical detail, but it's fun, and it's moving, and it's fluid, and it's everywhere, and it's us. And it's our world waking up and just moving sideways from the banking system. And we'll have to leave them, you know, and you have to be compassionate, as they have been to us. And, you know, and you may think, I'm worried about them and that, but it's okay. You know, we can give them blocks, marbles, piles of their paper money, and they can fight over it and build big stashes of it in the corner, and we can put nappies on them, and they can stomp around, and it's fine, and I did it, and, you know, swap Darwinian dog-eat-dog philosophies, and we'll move on, you know. We already have, you know, all across the world that, you know, we're there. So many systems, so many models, and I haven't covered all the good stuff, and it's ongoing, you know? It's our currency, people, and as we say in Golden Bay, money, it's in our hands. So, thank you very much. I'm going to put it on to our people who will lead you in song. Deirdre Kent, who brings to me, now this hasn't all been a political message, but as an extension of all our conversations and what we've worked on, Deirdre and I, before the last election, felt that the Greens, who we love dearly, have not represented and haven't got their heads in the money game yet. And as delighted as we are with the 17% in the polls, oh yeah, and all the other parties that are not National and Labour, who are representing the people and doing it, and who we are all in total support of, we decided we needed something that was a bit more radical than our kind of, you know, slightly towards the more middle Green Party, who we're delighted to be there. And we maybe could be something like, dare I say, Actors to National, that we could be to the Greens and set up a party which we've called the New Economics Party, which at the last election, we threw it together in 5 weeks, and I put on an Abe Lincoln hat with $4 glue-on sideburns and appeared in billboards around Wellington with an Occupy Parliament sign on it, and the future is money. Now, and the reason I bring that up is not to try and indoctrinate you, this is all being a political message, but because we're doing it, you know, and there'll be sites on that. If we're successful, then, you know, if we're all lucky, we might get shot. But we're having our first AGM, because most of us are all here, so we're meeting after this about 9:30 outside, and we're going to have our little meeting with fun and games. So, you know, if you want to hear about that conversation, please do. And Deirdre tirelessly worked through writing beautiful policies that all parties can share and pioneering some whole new things. Yeah.
Thanks, Laurence. Yes, I am delighted to be part of this and look forward to developing policy. We're in the throes, and we've got huge international input into what's happening. It's very exciting in the days of Skype calls and emails. And right just this morning, we found something really similar to what we're working on in a land-based currency. We found something emerging from an ecologist in Vermont and another one from Australia. So it's a worldwide effort to actually get a scaled-up currency, perhaps many scaled-up currencies, to stabilise the price of land and to have a land-based currency. So that would help, in my view, slow the downward decline. It would put the brakes on the downward decline of house property. Anyway, that's a serious subject. It's a long paper, and a lot of people are helping, and there's more to do, and we want to do it fast so we can get up and running for the local authority elections. And I think it would be wonderful. And now we've got Helen and Annalise's not here, and Sean. And Helen and I went to a conference in Steierberg, Germany, in 2003, and we taught them a song which came from our kindergartens called The Magic Penny. So if you know it, join in. And you've got an A. Okay. And it's got some actions. It's got some actions. Thanks. No, wait a minute. No, that's too high. Can I sing a new key in the key I
Just sing.
Our heart is love, and if you give it away, give it away, give it away. Our heart is love, and if you give it away, well, it comes right back to you. It's just like a magic penny. Hold on tight, and you won't have any. Lend it, spend it, give it away, and it comes right back to you. Again. Our heart is love, and if you give it away, give it away, give it away. Our heart is love, and if you give it away, when it comes right back to you.
It's just like
a magic
hold on tight.
Hold on tight, and you won't get
Lend it, spend it.
Lend it, spend it, give it away, and it comes right back to you.
If only all the economists sang like that. Huh?
Hello everybody. I have heard that some people are wondering why the focus on economics and permaculture convergence, and I just wanted to say that I just deal in a real physical world, and there's pretty much a one-to-one correspondence between everything that exists. We deal with design, ethical design, according to the permaculture principles of relationships between elements. And everything in the universe that is physical is related. And our economy is just something that's been designed, either consciously or on an ad hoc basis, and it's totally open. It's part of the realm of permaculture design. And as Bill Mollison said, we need to actually step into that field. He said we need to be bankers. Well, I actually don't believe that you need a central system that's top-down. We can be bottom-up. And I'm very passionate about this. I'm part of the Living Economies Trust. And I think that unless we get our invisible structures right, our visible structures will never be right. And we need to be very mindful of that and work at the level of invisible structures as much as we work at the level of physical structures. Thank you.
Kelvin, are you here? We need another mic.